Hi, my name is Jeps, and we are going to do some voting on our thoughts on the nominees for the Game Awards this year, 2024. So the awards night is going to be on December 12th, and I think it's going to be live on the various platforms of the Game Awards. Okay, so once again, these are the nominees, and we're going to check out all the categories. Can we check out all the categories first? Okay, so we have Game of the Year, Best Game Direction. I'm surprised that they put the biggest award first. It ruins the anticipation because unlike for when you see the nominees for the Oscars, they always put the Best Picture last. So I'm surprised that this year for the Game Awards they put Game of the Year right in front before all the other awards. So we have Game of the Year, we have Best Game Direction, Best Narrative, Best Art Direction, Best Score and Music, Best Audio Design, Best Performance, Innovation and Accessibility. So I think these are for those who need help when they're playing games. Correct me if I'm wrong. So Games for Impact, I think these are games that have some social impact and social impact, yeah. So best ongoing games are games that have been ongoing for a while now. And then we have, of course, best community support, so for games that give the best support for their community. Best independent game, I think that's self-explanatory. Best debut in the game, so I'm quite not clear about what's the difference between best independent game and best debut in the game. So I hope someone could give me sort of some information or correct me on that, or give me a lecture about it. So best mobile game, best VR or AR game, augmented reality or virtual reality. So we also have best action game, best action adventure. So the difference between action adventure and action games, that action adventure has both the traversal and the combat. For action games, it's heavily focused on combat. So we also have best role-playing games, best fighting games, best family games, best sim or strategy games, best sports or racing games, best multiplayer, best adaptation, most anticipated game, content creator of the year, best esports game, best esports athlete, and best esports team. So let's return to the site and check out the nominees, and let's start voting. Okay, for Game of the Year, so here are our nominees. We have Astrobot. Definitely a really great game. I mentioned on Twitter, and I had a discussion with someone there. They're wondering why I'm saying Astrobot is a dark horse for this year. Well, if we're talking about Game of the Year and scope of these games, people, when they think Game of the Year is something so epic, something very immersive, and most people usually go for RPGs or a very large scale games. Astrobot is, what I've heard, a short game compared to the others here, but I heard it's really fun. I played Astro's Playroom. I have a PS5, so I played Astro's Playroom and I had a lot of fun with that. So I would like Astrobot to win as well. So a fresh new change. Next we have Balatro. I haven't played Balatro. I'm very intrigued. People have been recommending me this game for a while. I haven't bought it because I have to prioritize my other games, which I bought. But I heard it's made by one dude or one person, and that's amazing. To be just one guy in a development team, and your game has been nominated for Game of the Year. That is impressive. That's very impressive. And we also have Black Myth Wukong. Now, people who have been following me on Twitter do know that I'm not a super fan of Black Myth Wukong, although it's well made, great graphics, good animations, good art direction, and combat is actually fun sometimes. But like I've said in Twitter, I'm not a super fan because the combat for me seems to be, there's just something missing about it that I couldn't put my finger on right now. But compared to the greats of From Software and even Stellar Blade, I would prefer Stellar Blade's combat over Black Myth's Wukong. Probably I'm just a fan of the parry mechanics of such games. So Black Myth's Wukong, I think this is a strong contender when it comes to votes, because you know where it's made. It's made in China, and the population there is really big, and like a large percentage of the sales of Black Myth Wukong, of course, came from China. Next, one of the more controversial choices for this year, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree. I myself am not comfortable with this nomination because one, of course, like everybody's saying, it is a DLC. Now, unless they're nominating the game bundle, which is Elden Ring parenthesis Shadow of the Erdtree, they did say Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, so it's not just Shadow of the Erdtree. And so maybe they're nominating the whole bundle. So if they're nominating the whole bundle, then sure, yes. But the thing is, here's my number two reason. Elden Ring already won 2 years ago. Elden Ring is a great game. I did play it again this year, along with the DLC. It's a great game. It's pretty much fun. But in my honest opinion, Shadow of the Erdtree contributed a lot in terms of the boss fights. But in terms of game mechanics, the only thing that they changed was probably the Shadow Tree fragments to become stronger. But other than that, it's the same game with some added content, and the added content isn't really that much compared to Bloodborne's DLC, which is really well paced and compressed, because Shadow of the Erdtree, there was some sort of emptiness with a lot of the locations, especially Shaman Village. The northeastern part of the game felt really flat, but nevertheless, it's still a good DLC. It's well worth the money. The boss fights are really good. The final boss fight was tremendously hard, challenging, but it was okay. I preferred the fight with Mesmer, honestly, over the final boss. So I don't think, for me, I think give chance to others, and DLCs should not really be part of Game of the Year, because they are an extension of a game, and you cannot play these DLCs without the main game. Next up is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Here we go again with the remakes. Like I said last year about Resident Evil 4 remake, I'm really not comfortable with remakes being nominated for nominated for Game of the Year, unless two reasons. It's a completely different vision of the of the original game. Like for Resident Evil 4, my problem with Resident Evil 4 is that they placed some modern mechanics into the game, but basically the story, the concept of the game is still the same. But like I said, if we're gonna put remakes, probably Silent Hill 2 should have made it here instead of Shadow of the Erdtree. But for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I think Final Fantasy VII Rebirth deserves a spot here, because as far as I have read, I have not played the game. It was not my priority this year because, one, I was not a super fan of Final Fantasy VII Remake. But based on remake, I think they really had a different vision of Final Fantasy VII compared to the original. I heard there are a lot of story changes. I have a vague memory of the original Final Fantasy VII, so correct me if I'm wrong there. But I think it deserves a spot here, based on my stand on remakes of games. Metaphor Refantasio, this is my bet. Honestly, this is my bet for Game of the Year. I've been playing it for a while. I'm probably 50 or almost 60 hours in, and I am enjoying the hell out of it. They're probably the only flaw that I have seen so far is probably the middle part is a bit dragging, but I guess that's how it's mostly for the recruitment of other party members. But I find it enjoyable because there are a lot of new classes that are being introduced even in the middle of the game, so it's so much fun. It's so much fun compared to Persona 5 Royal. I am having much more fun with Metaphor, and this is not just because of recency bias, but because I just finished Persona 4 Golden this year. I've been playing Persona 5 Royal, and now I did stop Persona 5 Royal because I had some kind of burnout with Persona. So, and I wanted to enjoy Metaphor more, and I am enjoying Metaphor a lot because of the class system, the archetypes. It's so much fun to mix and match, and the synthesis, and the characters are so lovable. Hulkenberg, Heismay. I haven't met a character that I didn't like so far. Even New Rust, Drunkard is so much fun. Juna, really good. Even the villains are enjoyable, and that's why I feel like for me this is Game of the Year. Metaphor Fantasio has a good story. I cannot completely say it's great because I haven't finished it yet, but so far I'm enjoying the hell out of everything about it. So my vote goes for Metaphor Fantasio, Game of the Year. Keep voting. Okay. Best Game Direction. So, awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. So, probably I think this is mostly gonna be about talking about how the game plays. Wow, this it's the same set of games as we have earlier. So, innovation and game direction and design. So, Astrobot is a really good platformer. There's some good direction there, and I've seen some players post their runs on Twitter, and it looks really fun. It looks really amazing. But the thing about that is, and this is not a critique. This is mostly because if we're gonna be awarding best game, we're taking with the keyword innovation. So there's nothing much new about Astrobot. It is fun. It's refreshing in a sense because it reminds us of old school platformers, how much fun they are, and so it's a really good game. The thing is, we're talking about innovation here. Balatro, I think is gonna get my vote for best game direction because I have watched so many YouTube videos and I still barely grasp it. Probably I'll be getting this game within the week or next week, and I've heard it's so much fun, and concept seems very new, and a roguelike card game. I have never heard of it, so Balatris right now is the running for my vote. Black Myth Wukong. Now I guess this is where we find out what I feel is lacking with Black Myth Wukong. It's innovation. It feels so basic. I mean, it has everything. It has good graphics, great animation, an epic storyline, and semi-open world, and it's a great game. The problem is with the game design and in terms of innovation, it feels like a PS3 game. You have your attack, you have your abilities, you have your dodge. It seems very, very too familiar, and probably not exciting enough for me, and this is just my opinion. I know a lot of people love it. The nostalgia with the old school mechanics. For me, it didn't click much with me. I have Black Myth Wukong. I still have to finish it, and I think I'm still gonna enjoy it, but not as much as I enjoyed Stellar Blade. Because Stellar Blade, just from the first few hours or first 2 hours, I was like having the hell of fun with the combat. Elden Ring Shadow of the Earth Tree, it's Souls. It's always fun. Game direction, art direction is just really through the roof. It's amazing. But when we talk about the design of how the levels are made, I have an issue with how the levels are designed in Shadow of the Earth Tree. I'm talking about the DLC, not the base game. The base game is well made. There's some flaws. The open world of Elden Ring, the problems with the open world of Elden Ring DLC became more evident here in Shadow of the Earth Tree, because the world seems so open in Elden Ring DLC. The fields are so huge. There are some enemies to encounter. That was enough, or logically enough to, it had a sensible amount of enemies or life on those fields. But Shadow of the Earth Tree, it was, I was like just riding Torrent, the horse, and the enemies I encountered felt very generic. Their placement felt generic. They were in the middle of the road. There were of course some that surprised you out of the blue, but it felt more lacking than Elden Ring. Of course, it's just a DLC. But the thing is, when you compare the Old Hunters DLC of Bloodborne to the base game, oh my god, Old Hunters DLC was so freaking good compared to the base game. And I believe that's how you're supposed to make a great DLC for such a game. But in terms of the boss fights, like I said, Shadow of the Earth Tree was great. Rilana was so much fun. Mesmer was so much fun. And they were just so good to fight with. Also, Anir Lim, if I remember correctly, the final level, supposedly final level of the game, I think that was the most well designed. The rest was just like one field after another, and that was just it. Yeah, and the Bale fight was great. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I cannot say much about it, but it does feel like an extension of Final Fantasy VII Remake. Not that that's a bad thing, but there's not much innovation there. Metaphora Fantasio, yeah, it's second place to Balatro. Why second place to Balatro when it comes to game direction? Because it borrows heavily from Persona and SMT, Shin Megami Tensei. So there was not much innovation there, but the game direction was really good. Like how they involved game mechanics into the storyline. Fast travel. Imagine they involved fast travel into the storyline. Some people just like, you could travel here to here when you have now unlocked fast travel. But here in Metaphor of Fantasia, they actually have a reason why in the story. The same that how they did with Death Stranding, which is amazing. My vote for best game direction goes to Balatro. Best narrative. So I have only played one game here, but I'm going to base like my decision on what I've been reading on Twitter and my own experience. But my own experience, of course, will weigh heavily in this. So for outstanding storytelling, I've been hearing some problems with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth story from fans or hardcore fans, but of course I don't know if these are gatekeepers or just people who like the game, but who like the franchise. But I've never been much of a fan of Final Fantasy VII. I know people will burn me for this. I'm more of a Final Fantasy VIII and 9 guy. I actually also enjoyed 10 the most among the turn-based Final Fantasies. I've only finished one Final Fantasy, which is Final Fantasy 16. I'm a late RPG adopter. Sorry. So it's been only like recently, like last year, that I've been playing a lot of RPGs, and it's ruining my backlog, honestly. So, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. I've been playing Like a Dragon. Well, the first Like a Dragon. I am having so much fun with that. I have no idea with the story with this, so I can't say much about this. Senua's Saga, based on a friend's testimonial about the story. He says, although the story is very impactful or meaningful, plot-wise it's very straightforward, which is kind of... Now, Silent Hill 2. Now, I don't know if they changed anything from the original game, which had a very, very amazing twist. But honestly, it's been a done thing, so I'm gonna go vote for Metaphor. I'm loving the story so far, especially how they incorporated the game mechanics into the storyline. So it's just Metaphor. Best art direction. Oh my gosh, this is quite hard. Astrobot. Beautiful game for the family, for the kids, everyone else. It's just so much fun. It looks so much fun. I want to get this when it gets on super sale, but I really had a tremendous fun time with Astro's Playroom, which is really, really great. The game that came with my PS5. Black Myth Wukong, art direction really good. The intro alone just screams I am well designed. I have great art direction, graphics wise, just amazing. Elden Ring, Shadow of the Earth Tree, same thing. It's Elden Ring, so really, really good art direction. I really love From Software's art direction. No problems with that. It's just really good. The best thing about From Software games is that no matter how old they get, when you play them, they still feel very recent because of the tremendously well done art direction. Metaphora Fantasio, beautiful art, beautiful designs. It feels like it's very modern and very medieval at the same time. It's very fantasy and modern. I love how the fashion sense in the game feels like so modern. It's like you're watching a modern fashion show, but it's a game set in old fantasy, because they have different creatures, they have magic. It's just so amazing. The art direction, the art design, then you have the runners, and then the enemies called the humans. Very, very unique, very unique. Never. I've seen screenshots, I've seen videos. It is tremendously beautiful, and I love how such games like this never incorporate art. Mainly use their art as part of the game, and it's not just like this game has great design. It's like there's a meaning. The art has a meaning along with the gameplay. And honestly, this is quite the hard choice between Metaphor, Refantasio, and Neva. But if I'm gonna choose, probably I'm gonna go with Neva. Even if I love Metaphor, I have some issues with the anti-aliasing of the game, but that's just me. But other than that, it has really good art. But I really like indie games that incorporate its beautiful art into the game design. So I'm going with Neva. This game should have been part of the best game direction. Best score and music. I'm gonna be very biased here. Astrobot. I've heard the music. It sounds tremendously fun and quirky. And like they say, you know that the soundtrack is really good if you hardly notice it. But my issue with that is there's nothing different or unique with Astrobot's music that will stick to your head. Final Fantasy Rebirth, there it has a great soundtrack. I've heard the English song that's featured, but it's basically a traditional Final Fantasy VII music, and I haven't seen much people talking about how great and amazing the music is with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. They just say how epic it is, but in terms of music, not much. Metaphor and Fantasy. Oh my god, the music in Metaphor is just so good. It's so different. It's like, and the best part about it, it's motivating you for a turn-based game. You feel so intense, and you don't get that usually with most turn-based games. The only game that comes close to Metaphor in terms of like really enticing you to play for a turn-based game is Octopath Traveler 2, which I think was snubbed for best soundtrack. But Metaphor and Fantasio, this is I think this is one of my picks. Silent Hill 2, love the music of the original. I think they also incorporated it in the remake. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be great as well. So I can't comment on that because I don't have the remake yet. Stellar Blade. Oh my god, this is so hard. I love the music of Stellar Blade, especially when you're relaxing. It's I love that they incorporated like relaxing music into the save points, and you could choose the music that you want. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. That's what you call immersion, interactivity, and I love how the intense moments, you don't really hear the music, but it drives you to become better in the combat, and I think that's a very good thing. So, oh my god, this is a tie between Stellar Blade and Metaphor. Two great games that I really love, and they have the same level of music that I really like. Okay. This is so hard. I think I'm gonna go with the Stellar Blade because although Metaphor has some really nice and unique vocals, like the monk singing, it's so amazing. But the music in Stellar Blade is just stellar. Sorry for the pun, but it just makes me feel so motivated to play the game and the combat more. And when it wants you to relax, the music is very relaxing as well, and it's not annoying. So I'm gonna give it to Stellar Blade, and here we go. Best audio design. Okay, Astrobot. Beautiful sound design. From the clips that I've been hearing on Twitter, on YouTube, it sounds really good. The sound effects are so enticing as a game, so that's great. Call of Duty Black Ops 6. I haven't played the game. Honestly, I haven't watched much of Black Ops 6. I think Call of Duty left a bad taste in my mouth. Last Call of Duty that I liked was Modern Warfare 3, and I didn't even love that. I prefer the original Modern Warfare 2. That was great. So can't comment on that. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Square Enix never fails with their audio design. So the thing is, the thing about audio design is how it incorporates into the game, and I think that's where Senua shines. Senua and Silent Hill 2 shines. A good horror game like Silent Hill 2 should have good audio, because horror games without good audio is just bleh. This is why I wasn't much of a fan of the Outlast games, because their sound design was just very generic, so it didn't scare me that much. But yeah, but Senua Saga Hellblade 2. I played the first Senua, Hellblade 1 Senua, so Senua's Wrath, I think, and the sound design was great there. I've been watching streams of other people playing Hellblade 2, and they have maintained that, and I love how it's so psychiatric, or what do you call this, anxiety inducing, because of the voices, and you could actually feel like you're hearing the voices in your head. So I'm gonna give the vote to Senua Saga Hellblade 2. Best performance. Oh, okay. You know what's funny? I haven't played a single game from these guys, but I've watched a lot of the performances based on the games that they're in. So I'm gonna give this to Melina Jurgens. Her performance in Senua was just, oh my god. Even the first game was like, she deserves to win this time. Best independent game. Obviously I'm gonna vote for Balatro, although Animal Well and Neva are a close second. So, but I'm gonna vote one dude developing a game and being Game of the Year. They at least need to win Best Independent. Okay, for the best gameplay, mobile game. Okay, where's Marvel Snap? That's the only game. That's the only game I play on my phone. Marvel Snap and this game called Legend of Survivors. Yeah, it's like a Vampire Survivor clone. AFK Journey. Oh, I was so bored with that after a while. I'm so sorry. I think it's a great game. A lot of people love it. A lot of my friends love it. But I've got too many gotchas. Zenless Zone Zero. I played it on PS5. Quite disappointed with the combat. And the story was just talkies the entire time. And there's comic strip stuff. I prefer how they told the stories in Genshin Impact. And what's the other one? Honkai Star Rail. Wuthering Waves, I've been hearing a lot of great things. Probably this will, if ever I'm going back to gacha. I stopped playing gacha around after April or June of this year. No, April. Yeah, April. May maybe. So yeah. So I think Wuthering Waves might bring me back because I've been hearing a lot of great things about the combat. I love combat when it comes to gacha. So Genshin was really nice when I started out, but it just became the same thing. Same with Zenless Zone Zero. It felt like Genshin Impact that's just faster. Without a jump button, of course. Wuthering Waves, I heard there's like a parry system, which is, for those who follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky, you know how much I love parrying. Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket. I tried it, but didn't click with me. I still have it. I haven't tried Balatro, but Wuthering Waves or Balatro? You're the best indie game. Let's give it to Wuthering Waves. I don't have best action game. I'm gonna be terribly biased here. As you all know my thoughts about Black Myth. I haven't played Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Helldivers started out well. I haven't played Warhammer, but I really want to, and the game looks really good. But when it comes to combat, oh my god, Stellar Blade is awesome. Love the parrying, dodging, and how you try to strategize your fights. It's just hands down my favorite real-time action game of the year. Best action adventure. For the best action adventure game, combat and traversal with puzzle solving. This is interesting. Whoa! Star Wars Outlaws was nominated. Good for them. I actually want to play this game. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but I mostly love the Jedi stuff. But I heard Outlaws was pretty good if you like Star Wars. There were just some gameplay or glitches or something, but they say the game's really good if you like to traverse the Star Wars universe. Silent Hill 2, I've been watching a lot of Silent Hill 2 gameplay and it looks really good. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown looks amazing. And I heard the traversal is really good. Although I'm sad that the studio who made it was it shut down? Oh, correct me if I'm wrong there. Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. I kind of liked how it looked like when I saw the trailer. It looked really simply fun, but not my cup of tea. Astrobot. I think I'm gonna give this to Astrobot, because it looks really fun. There's some good combat and some traverse. The traversal is really good. Puzzle solving, yeah. I'm gonna give this to Astrobot. Okay, best RPG, no brainer. I'm gonna vote for Metaphor, but of course, like I said, we're gonna give a comment to each of the games. So, Dragon's Dogma 2 sounds. When I first saw Dragon's Dogma 2, it looked really fun, exciting. The combat looks really nice. But the more I saw of it from streamers, it suddenly look very, very dragging. And I really didn't feel the RPG elements to it. Probably I didn't see much of it, but compared to Elden Ring, which the RPG elements were like upgrading and stuff. Yeah. So, but oh, why is Shadow of the Earth Tree here again? Okay. Yeah, these two. I don't know if they are action RPGs, but role-playing game like building your team and incorporating good storyline with it, because role-playing storytelling is very important to me. Dragon's Dogma, I have no idea with the story. Elden Ring, I'm going to stand by this. Elden Ring has no plot. It has good lore, but there's no freaking plot. But Shadow of the Earth Tree had a plot. The only time that Elden Ring had a plot was in its DLC, and that's pretty funny. Pretty funny and ironic to me that it gets nominated the moment it had a plot. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, West RPG. Definitely Final Fantasy deserves to be there. Like I said, it's more of a reimagining remake than an actual translation from the original game. I've been hearing a lot of great things about Like a Dragon, but the best RPG I've played this whole year, it's a tie between what I'm going to vote for and Persona 4 Golden. I know Persona 4 Golden's an old game, but I love the story of Persona 4 Golden, and I'm currently loving the story of Metaphor, so we're going with Metaphor. Best fighting game? I'm too old to play fighting games. I've heard Dragon Ball Sparking Zero was so much fun, but based on what I've seen, it's like Budokai or Budokai Tenkaichi or whatever. That's just much better. I have Multiverses since it's free. Pretty much fun, but I don't play it that much. I let my kids play that instead. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. Why is it here? I mean, it's a very old game. Although they did re-release it, yeah. Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising. This is on my wish list because I did play the Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Yeah, the Relink, and I had fun with that. And I have the other Grand Blue Fantasy fighting game. I think it's quite fun. Like I said, I'm not much fighting game player anymore or gamer because I have very slow reflexes. I think I'm much suited for Souls. I've always been a Tekken fan, and from what I've seen from my friends, they loved Tekken 8. So I'm gonna go with them. This is please don't take this vote seriously because I don't play fighting games anymore. Best family game? Wow, this is hard. Plucky Squire. Plucky Squire looks fun. It looks new and different. Legend of Zelda. Yeah. Okay. Okay, best family game. Here's the thing. If I were to vote, if I were to have a criteria for best family game, it would be something that the whole family can enjoy. So I don't know what Princess Peach Showtime is like. Is this multiplayer? I'm gonna go and vote for something that involves multiplayer. And I think Super Mario Party Jamboree is a party game. This definitely should win best family game. Although Astrobot has great quality, it's more of a single player experience. So yeah, I'm gonna go vote for Super Mario Party Jamboree. Best sim or strategy? I grew up with Red Alert, StarCraft, and Battle Realms, Warcraft. These are the strategy games that I played with. And when it comes to world building or stuff like that, yeah, I like City Skylines, but I think that their second game didn't work out well that much as compared to the first. So Age of Mythology Retold, I think this is a remake. I have no idea how it plays. Frostpunk, I heard, is very popular. Kunitsugami, Path of the Goddess, I have no idea how it works when I saw the trailer. Manor Lords looks very interesting. I love the graphics, I like the concept behind it. But I tried the demo for Unicorn Overlord. I enjoyed the hell out of it. This wins for me. Yeah. Best multiplayer. I've only played Helldivers 2, honestly. I want to play Warhammer. I've heard really good things. Like I said, Call of Duty just... I don't know. It's really not in my... No, when I see Call of Duty, like... No offense to the fans. I know you guys have the right to like whatever. I also have the right to dislike something, but I won't say it's a bad game. It's just not for me anymore. Helldivers 2, I had a ton of fun when I played it. So yeah, I'm gonna vote for Helldivers 2. Best adaptation. I haven't seen Knuckles. Is this the show? Because it kind of felt corny to me. I heard Like a Dragon wasn't that good. Tomb Raider, not much buzz. So for me, it's a toss between Fallout and Arcane. I loved Fallout. I loved the show. It was great. Ella Purnell was really good. Ella Purnell was also great in Arcane. Well, it's a battle of the Ella Purnell shows. But I'm gonna give the trophy to Arcane because it has been consistent with its quality, and the storytelling's been great. The animation is just, oh my god. As someone who dabbled in animation, oh my god, it's just so amazing. I'm voting for Arcane. We're here now with most anticipated game. I feel like my wallet's gonna be safe next year, unless of course some of the unannounced release dates of games that I've been following suddenly decide to come out next year. Then we're in danger. Games like Judas, Expedition 33. I know it's a 2025 release, but I'm probably not gonna get it ASAP. I'm just gonna wait for the reviews and the discourse around it before I buy it. It does look really good. Expedition 33 looks really good, but I mean, when the trailers come out, everybody's wow, but it immediately dies down right after, and there's not much buzz to it, which I guess is not a bad thing, but for me, it doesn't have that much impact aside from being really nice looking. But it does remind me of that Sony ad. So, So, our vote. So, Death Stranding 2. All those who have been following me on Twitter or in Blue Sky knows how much I've been posting about this game more than Metaphor. I love both games, but I just recently rediscovered my love for Death Stranding. I stopped playing it a year ago because a lot of games came into the spotlight, and I just tried it on PlayStation Plus before. So, but it really caught me off guard. Like, oh my god, this is really good, and it reignited my fandom of Hideo Kojima. I feel like I owe myself an apology for stopping liking Hideo Kojima's work, because when I played Phantom Pain, Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain, it didn't catch me as much as the other Metal Gears, but it was I felt the same thing when I played Metal Gear Solid 4 until I revisited it, and then I loved Metal Gear Solid 4. Probably if I play Metal Gear Solid 5 again, that will come back. And when I played Death Stranding, the first few hours, people say that you'll get hooked after like 10 hours into it when you get to chapter 3. But for me, the first few hours, it just captured my soul. With how the game works, with the story, the atmosphere, it felt so immersive. It was really good. So I am tremendously excited for Death Stranding 2 on the beach, and I am telling you this early. Yes, this is going to be what I'm going to vote for. But as I promised, I'm going to talk about my thoughts on each and every nominee. Ghost of Gnawtee. People are going to hate me for this, but Ghost of Tsushima did not vibe with me as much as Sekiro did. I know those two games are totally different, but Ghost of Tsushima, it was fun, but it was like a wow, I can't stop playing it type of game. I mean, every time I play Ghost of Tsushima, I didn't even finish it. Every time I play it, I felt, ooh, I'm gonna do this, do that, but it didn't push me forward to the narrative. Unlike for Death Stranding, I want to continue the story, but I also want to do the side quests, or what you call side deliveries, but it's just it was so different, it was so fresh. Ghost of Tsushima felt too familiar, probably. It was slash, block, parry, and then some stealth mechanics. It was fun, being like a samurai shinobi like, but when it comes to games like that, of that caliber, I think I prefer Sekiro more. Grand Theft Auto 6, I stopped liking Grand Theft Auto after 5. Didn't care much about anything Grand Theft Auto after that. Even in the trailer didn't entice me. Not a fan of games of that theme anymore. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, most anticipated game. I've played Metroid on Nintendo Wii. That was a long time ago. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot, but it's not my cup of tea as well. Monster Hunter Wilds, I tried the beta. I played the beta. Enjoyed it during the final hour. But during the whole time, I was like, it feels so different. But when I tried to look at some tips on how to enjoy it more, how to use the weapons that I used for Monster Hunter World, oh my god, Monster Hunter Wilds, I'm also excited for it. Suddenly excited for it once again. The beta was fun with friends, but yeah, I'm still voting for Death Stranding. This is Kojima's just a different level. So the Game Awards, these are those are my thoughts on the nominees. We'll see each other again. Probably after the voting, we're gonna talk about the winners, our thoughts, our complaints, our violent reactions. I'll see you guys again for the Game Awards after December 12th.